Namaste. Welcome to today, everyone. So happy to be with you. And my name is Todd Norian, founder of Ashaya Yoga, and welcome to the Ashaya Yoga practices for inner peace. It's so important to do practices where we can let go of the externals and draw inside, to be able to come back to our center and really let ourselves absorb and steep and surround ourselves with a sense of inner peace, to calm our nerves, to give us the strength to rise up in the face of challenge. So as I said at the beginning of the series, to just take 1 hour a day to let this be your time to come home to your heart, to really tune in to yourself and support your whole body, your mind, your heart to become harmonized, to integrate, and to find that sense of inner joy, that place of the stillness inside of the sort of whirlwind of life right now. I call it the calm inside chaos, the eye of the storm. And no matter what's happening on the outside, there's always going to be some challenge, some chaos happening. And we're cultivating our capacity to draw inside, to go into find that indwelling current that takes us back to this place inside where we are already whole and complete. Today's session is going to be on breathing and pranayama. So I'll take you through some stretches and then some very basic but super powerful breathing exercises. But before we go on, I have two important announcements. And number one is I've gotten a lot of requests for people wishing to make a donation. And yes, we are accepting donations and contributions. They're much appreciated. And if you feel heart moved to do that for the different classes that you've received this week, please go to ashayayoga.com. You'll see at the top there the menu online classes, and there's a donate button that you can push. So thank you so much for that. And it has been a real delight. So this is the last of 7 classes. And the second announcement I have to make is I am very excited for Inner Peace Series 2, which is going to happen next week. And again, it's going to be a set of 5 classes starting Wednesday and going through Sunday. And this will be inner peace through the 5 elements. So we start with sky and then earth, water, fire, air. Very beautiful classes filled with much inspiration, a lot of the tantric teachings. I'm going to focus on the practice of Ashaya Yoga, asana, with deep relaxation, shavasana. And I will throw in some meditation and breathing along the way. I'm going to stick with the hour-long format, but I'm not sure what time is best time for you. So would you write in? The options that would work best for us is, of course, the 9 to 10 a.m. Let us know if that time's working for you. And then the alternative time would be in the afternoon from about 4 to 5. So we would really appreciate some feedback for you. When would you like to have this class if you're able to make it? And then we'll just have to pick one. You know that you can replay the video, so this is just for the live experience, but you can always be able to join us. So that's that. So come on up to standing. And please stand with your feet hip distance apart and parallel, palms in front. Close your eyes for a moment and find your breath. Remember, the breath is actually the life force itself. It's the life force in physical form. So breathe in and all the way down to the pelvis, to the pelvic floor. And when you exhale, try to expel all the breath. The breath is the life force. Breath becomes the medium between our individual nature and our divine universal nature. Breath is like a medium between the the wishes and dreams you hold on the inside and the manifestation of those dreams and wishes on the outside. And let's open to the bigger energy. We recognize that there is a larger perspective, a larger energy, a universal, an ocean of consciousness that we are part of. We're a wave in the ocean of consciousness. And we're not oceanless waves. We're waves that are filled to the fullest with divine potential, with a capacity to live a deeply meaningful, a deeply fulfilling, enriching life of joy, of happiness, of true inner peace that brings us into a deeper appreciation such that we fall in love with life again. We fall in love with ourselves. And then consequently, when you love yourself, you're in love with everyone around you. Let's draw into that inner peace today. Take a breath and chant Om. Om. Namaste. Inhale, sweep your arms out to the side and up. Exhale, arms down, palms in front of the heart. Breathe. Coordinate your movements with your breath. And let your breath lead and you follow. So there'll be a little pause at the end of the exhalation, then inhale, then move. At the top of the inhalation, a pause, then exhale. Let your movements flow in the wake of the breath. And then go at your own natural breath rhythm. Take this time to just breathe, open up to the little stretches that are happening. Coordinate movement with breath as your way of synchronizing with this medium between our infinite potential and our finite potential. And tuning in to the power of this very simple exercise, I'm going to give you the advanced variation. You curl the corners of your mouth towards your ears. There you go. Inhale up, exhale, fold forward. Lead with your heart. Let out a grunt or a moan. Yes, good morning. Say hello to your hamstrings. Open to the bigger energy. Receive, open up, embrace, and then lift your toes. Hug your shins to the middle, turn your thighs in, and widen your thigh bones apart. Now, isometrically, drag your heels backwards. Put your hands on the back of the calf, top of the calf. Push your calves forward, take your thighs back. Calves forward, thighs back, until your shin is perpendicular. Keeping those actions, lightly touch. Lift your heart forward halfway. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Now, alternately press your heels to the floor, bending the opposite knee. Keep your face relaxed. Relax your jaw. If you sense that you become aware like you're biting down, you can move your lower jaw back and forth a few times. Deepen your breath. And then bend your left knee, bring your right heel down to the floor and turn your right foot out a little bit, like the Virabhadrasana 1 position. So it's out about, it's turned in about 60 degrees. And then press your right hip back, lift your right armpit and twist. Look under the right armpit. And try to lift your right shoulder blade way up. Right armpit up. The shoulder blade hugs onto the ribs. The armpit lifts up. And then you push your right outer heel toward the floor. Yeah, look to the right. Nice deep stretch. Okay, switch. Bend your right knee. Turn your left foot out a little bit. And lift your left armpit. Look under. Don't worry so much about all the alignment cues. Go for a nice stretch. Press the outer left heel down. Lift your left armpit up.
Twist. Look under the left shoulder. Good. Inhale back to center. Now, hovering dog pose. Bend your knees down until they're like 2 inches off the floor. Turn your knees way out to the side. Inner rotate your thighs. Lift your sitting bones way up. Imagine someone has a belt around the back and they're pulling the inner thighs back behind you. Lift the sitting bones way, way up. Try to get a low back curve. Claw your finger pads and roots. Lift up into your heart. Lift your armpits. Melt the upper back down. Stretch. Bend your knees even more. Then start to stretch your legs straight. Inner rotate your thighs. Root the base of your shins back. And from your heart, just push the floor through your hands. And from your heart, root your heels. Nice deep breaths. Exhale. Right foot forward, hands on your hips. Squeeze your legs toward the middle. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, sweep your arms down. Bring your right elbow under the left. So now we've got this eagle arm. Squeeze your arms to the midline. Hug your legs toward the midline. They scissor toward the midline. Now, left hip forward more. Right hip back. Inhale. Lift your elbows, armpits back. Hold your balance here and see if you can arch back. Now, move your elbows over toward the right and stretch. And then move them toward the left and stretch. Inhale, release your arms, stretch up. Place your fingertips on the back of your head, elbows in close. Armpits back, head back into your hands, lift your elbows up. And then stretch up from your shoulder blades up through your thumbs. From the pit of your belly up to your little fingers, stretch. Hold. Sweep your arms out to the side. Slowly come down, touch, go back to downward facing dog pose. Exhale, left foot forward. Come up, hands to your hips. Pause. Remember your breath. Remember that the breath is the conduit between your physical experience and the dream you want to bring into the world. Breath is the medium. Scissor your legs together. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, sweep your arms out to the side, this time left under right. Lift the elbows, armpits back. Bend your knee more. Hug your legs to the middle, and then move your right hip forward, left hip back. Just be with that stretch for a moment. Then draw your tailbone down. Lift your elbows, arch back a bit. Come back to center, move your elbow assembly over to the left, and that's going to open up your shoulder. And then move it over toward the right. Inhale, center, stretch your arms up. Arch back. Hold. Lift your back thigh a little higher. Draw your left hip back and down. Breathe. Become the peaceful warrior that when challenges come, you rise up. We get stronger. The yogi gets stronger in challenge. We need a little friction to grow ourselves. Breathe. Stretch. Reach beyond previously held limits. And then exhale, sweep your arms out to the side.
Come on down to plank. Inhale. Exhale. Pause at chaturanga. You can bring your knees down if you need to, but don't let your shoulders go below your elbows. Claw with your hands, head of the arm bones up, thighs back, tailbone in. And then grit your teeth for the last 5 seconds. Exhale down, and inhale cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Bend your knees. Lift your armpits up, but slowly lower your head toward the floor. Armpits up, head toward the floor. Armpits up, head towards the floor. Head down on the floor if you can. Armpits up, armpits up. Very good. Exhale. Step forward. Root your feet. Sweep your arms out to the side. Oops. And go up. And exhale. Release. Arms down. These are really good exercises and movements to open the lungs for pranayama. So we'll be sitting in just a moment. How about one more? Inhale, stretch up. Bring your palms together. So I've got my palms like this and thumbs interlaced. Okay. Now try to line up your body so that your thighs go back, tailbone in, and your armpits go back. Lift your throat, palate back, occiput up. Just hold. If you can't get your arms like this, you could hold the belt between your hands. So keeping the hips and the shoulders in the same plane. Root your right foot down and arc left. Right foot down, arc left. Continue to stretch all around the right side. So your right ribs. And then turn your belly and heart slightly up toward the sky. Head back just a little bit. Even lengthen your left side. Breathe. Breathe into your ribs. These are the intercostal muscles, are what's, the muscles between your rib cage. Those get really tight and they restrict our breath. And then root your right foot down, come up. Realign hips and shoulders, all in the same plane. And then exhale, root your left foot down, arc to the right. Again, grow your left foot longer. It goes even beneath the earth here. Sink it down beyond your mat. And use that as a way to stretch left ribs. Thighs back again, tailbone in. Shoulders back. Lift your belly and heart toward the sky. Even head back a little. Breathe. You should be feeling it in your arms. Now root your left foot down to come up. Exhale, sweep your arms out to the side. Woo! Okay. Feel that. It's very nice. Okay, the next couple of exercises, they're restorative. I call this one the passive chest opener. So you're going to need a roll of some kind. So I took one of my thick blankets and then rolled it lengthwise. So it should be about this thick. If you're a little shorter or just really tight in your upper back, you're going to make this roll smaller. So all you do to make it smaller is unroll it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to keep it full and bring it down about a third down your mat. And the top, the base of your shoulder blades are going to go right on the top of this roll. So lie on your back, and you have to just kind of find your arms are above the roll. You bring your arms out into a T. Now I'd like your head to go all the way back to the floor, but if it just is too much strain on your neck, then you can put a block behind your head, it's going to decrease your stretch. Okay, so you could also put just another blanket under your head. But we want to get the mid-thoracic spine to open up and stretch. It's the tightest area. It's right behind the heart. It's like our shield of armor in the back. It's like a plate of steel. And we want to breathe into that. And then stretch your legs out. Draw your tail in so there's no low back pain. And take a few deep breaths. Every exhalation, release the head of your arm bones toward the floor. Continue to breathe, to open up. See how much more you can release. Relax your face and your jaw. Bring your breath all the way up to where your shoulder blades touch the blanket. And expand your rib cage through the front, the sides, and the back. Let the back of your head get very heavy, and the sides of your throat will become silky smooth. Bend your knees, feet flat on the floor. Gently roll to your right side. And come up. So you can either use the same roll or re-roll it so that's a little bit thicker. And if you have a bolster, yoga bolster, you could use that as well. So we're going to make another roll. Let's see. Yeah. So this roll is a little bit shorter and thicker. And everyone's going to be a little different, so you might need it a little bit smaller. But here's what we're going to do. Side lying. So come on to your right side. Bring your the middle of the rib cage on the roll. Stretch your legs straight back, stack your feet. And your right arm is out in front, left arm comes up and over. You're going to feel a big stretch here. And then split your legs. So your top leg, left leg goes forward, right leg goes back. So your legs are about maybe 3 feet apart. And breathe. Once you're, in the basic shape, pull your arm bones back, head back. And then surrender your ribs down onto the roll. Then you're going to get a stretch on the top ribs, but you're also going to get it's like a Rolfing action on the bottom ribs. Most people will feel the, stronger sensation is on the bottom ribs. I mean the right side, the one next to on the blanket. But you might feel a different stretch here as well. And a few more seconds, see if you can relax into this position more. In the beginning, it can hurt a little bit. It'll hurt good. But if you just relax it, you'll see after, a few seconds, the right rib cage is going to release. And that's a sign that you've just stretched we're stretching the fascia that runs between the ribs, over the muscles, through the muscles. This fascia is like the internet of connection of the entire body.
Fascia is very responsive to hydration, so you want to be well hydrated, very receptive to the breath, and receptive to stretch. And it's connected to the parasympathetic nervous system, so when you think about relaxing, when you actually do start to relax, it affects the fascia, which is really good. We want to release it. Fascia is also affected by mental thoughts and trauma. So if you've had, like I had hip surgery, and I healed great, but the fascia was still holding the trauma of that surgery. And it's taken me a long time to be able to relax it and release it. Good news is you can release the fascia. Okay, inhale, come up, and you can just roll over, do the second side. I'm going to switch to the other end so I'm seeing you. Left side on the ribs on the left ribs on the roll. Stretch your left arm out, stack your legs, thighs back, tail in. Sweep the right arm up and over, and easy does it. And then split your legs, right leg forward, left leg back. It's actually easier with the legs apart. Okay, breathe where it's tight. Now if you don't feel anything, get a larger roll. Nice deep breaths. As you release tight fascia, just affirm to yourself, all is well. I'm at peace with all that's happening in my life. I accept myself perfectly just as I am. Each exhalation, let go a little bit more and relax your ribs down onto the roll. That can sometimes increase the pain, but it will also increase the release of the fascia. If it hurts, we want it to be good hurt, and if it feels more intense, then back off. And one more deep breath, and then exhale, release, and come up. Okay. Next, you're going to need a belt. You can take a seat. The yogis say we have 3 chambers of our lungs. We do have 3 lobes. We have 3 lobes on one side, 2 lobes on the other because of the 2 lobes on the left because of the heart. But think of the lung capacity as in 3 lobes. There's the abdominal chambers, the lowest lobes of the lungs. And we rarely get our breath down to the lower tips. And guess what? That's where the blood pools the most. So if you're wanting to get the best use of your breath, you have to get the oxygen down to where the blood is. Then we have the thoracic chamber, which is the middle, and the clavicular chamber, clavicle, collarbone, is up at the top, which also we don't typically get breath up there. So we're going to work today to open up we've already opened up the ribs like crazy, but we're going to open up the belly, the ribs, and the collarbones. So make yourself a loop, and you have to get inside the loop and bring it down to the floating ribs, and we're going to create pressure. So make the belt. We can experiment with how tight to make it. So it's down. It's going to feel best if it's
catching the bottom rib. And if the belt is too tight, you're not going to be able to do it. So it has to be snug, but not too tight. And then with the pressure here, inhale, you're going to inhale in and down. And when you inhale, your belly should inflate as though you're blowing up a balloon. Okay, let's do it. And then exhale. You'll feel also with the belt here, the breath kind of pushes into the belt, then it instantly goes up to the middle and the top chambers. But try to stay with the belly. When you inhale, let your belly push out against the belt. If you relax, you'll find that that's what your belly does naturally. And that's from the movement of the diaphragm when you fill up with, actually the diaphragm is the prime mover of the breath. So the diaphragm contracts and moves down. And that movement of the diaphragm creates a low pressure in the lungs, and that's what makes breath rush in because it's filling the lower pressure. Abdominal breathing is the breath of inner peace. It stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our brain's instruction to relax. Now loosen the belt and bring it up to the middle ribs. Middle ribs. Belt will go underneath. And then pull it firm. Now you'll be able to feel this one a little more, especially on the sides and the back. So as you inhale now, try to inflate against the belt, the thoracic chamber. And observe that the breath goes down to the belly first and then it moves up. Each exhalation, relax your face. You can't do it wrong. And the belt is just a wonderful aid to help you feel the breath in the 3 different chambers. The next couple of inhalations, when you inhale, I want you to expand laterally. Try to make the side ribs inflate. And let's exaggerate the next couple of breaths so that your inhalation is a little bigger than normal, and you really, when you get to the end of your inhalation, really expand it. I want you to do this so you're stretching the internal intercostal muscles. And take one more, just like that. Okay, and release. Undo the clasp. And this last position, it's kind of fun. I call it the cross your heart yoga bra, even though I've never had a bra on. Maybe as a little kid. I think I did as a little kid. All right, take your belt. You have to have an extra long belt, so we'll try this. Put it across the base of your shoulder blades in the back. Then cross the right side over the right, the left side over the left, and behind your heart, cross the belts. So they cross in back, and then reach for the ends with your hands and pull the ends snug. Yeah, and you just hold it like here. And the more you pull, the more it's going to pull the head of your arm bones back. Okay, cross your heart yoga. Here we go. When you pull, what happens is your shoulder blades are now hugged onto the back ribs. That's what we want. And as you pull, notice how the head of your arm bones go back. To get the upper lobes of the lungs, you have to reverse slouching the shoulders. Okay, that's like our typical posture with the head forward. You have to get the side ribs to grow long. Inhale, side ribs long. Pull on the belt. Head of the arm bones go back. Your throat will lift automatically. Then draw your palate back. Remember, it's the roof of the mouth. And the occiput up. It's the skull, the base of the skull in the back. Good. If your belt's long enough, you can clasp, but we're not going to hold it that long. And this is a wonderful therapeutic, not just for the breath, but for the shoulders, to create shoulder integration. And when I had my shoulder injury many years ago, I did this, and I'd wear it for about an hour every day. And this just feels so good. Now breathe all the way up into the upper chest. You can feel how wide open the lungs are now. And then put the 3 chambers all together. So inhale, lower belly, middle chest, upper chest. Exhale. And you exhale from top down. So the upper chest, middle chest, and then belly will release in that order. Inhale, belly inflates, ribs expand, collarbones lift. And exhale. One more. The benefit of doing the 3-part yogic breath is that your blood gets fully oxygenated. You're using the fullest surface area of your lung tissue. It's the most efficient way to breathe. And release. And when you have oxygen, you have prana, you have life force. And because you're working the parasympathetic nervous system, which is stimulated partly by the vagus nerve, which is the wandering nerve, and it goes all the way down into your belly. That's going to help you feel more calm and relaxed. Remember one of the other days I said anxiety and oxygen cannot coexist? That's a real tip here, to breathe. Okay. Join your index fingers and thumbs. Sit quietly. Let's work the thighs. So manually turn your thigh bones in, both sides. Make sure your sitting bones are elevated enough so that the knee is at the level or lower than the rim of your pelvis. You can also do this sitting in a chair. Lift your side ribs, head of the arm bones back. Close your eyes and turn inward. Notice the fullness and the openness of your lungs just from the very basic stretches that we did so far. Align your palate over your pelvis and lengthen the central channel of your spine from hips all the way to the top of your head. Practice the full yogic breath a few more times now. Become aware of the quality of your body and the quality of your mind as you breathe. The breath is the gateway to inner peace. With an agitated breath, it takes you into fear and anxiety. every emotion establishes a breath pattern. If you change your breath pattern, your emotional state will change. After the next exhalation, you may open your eyes. Let's practice the Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi means victoriously uprising breath. It's in and out through the nostrils, and it's done by lightly hugging the base of the throat from the inside and creating an aspirated sound. If you imagine whispering the sound sa with the lips closed, that's going to give you that kind of hissing ocean sound. So let's begin. Inhale. For those of you who might be new to Ujjayi, let me just give you the sound, if I can, for a second. I'm going to exaggerate. I'm going to pull my microphone up closer. That's the sound. Continue. Now the key here is to allow the breath to flow, permit the pauses between the breath. These little spaces between the breath are very, very important. It's the threshold. It's the pivot place. Remember, a threshold is where the universal and individual touch. The threshold is the space between identity, time, and space and place. It's the twilight. In the morning is dawn, before the day actually is in full light. It's the space between darkness and light. A place where our limited nature touches our unlimited potential. So permit the pauses. There's two, one at the top of the inhalation and one at the bottom of the exhalation. The other thing to be aware of is try to make the sound, volume, and thickness of the breath, the texture of the breath, the same on both the inhalation and exhalation. Keep your face relaxed. Even the jaw and the tongue stays relaxed. So we want to focus the friction or the resistance. It's very subtle, but it's at the base of the throat, not in the jaw. Especially on the inhalation, soften your forehead, eyes, stay tender, the cheeks drape. The Ujjayi breath, when you contract to make the sound, it forces the prana, the life force that comes in with the oxygen, the prana moves into the subtle nerve channels called nadis. We have over 72,000 of these subtle channels that innervate energetically all the chakras and every other functioning part of the body. I call these our psychic channels. They exist in the pranamaya kosha, which is the breath body or the energy sheath. You could think of it as our electromagnetic field that everybody has. But just like you can get arteriosclerosis of the arteries, you can get arteriosclerosis of the nadis. What clogs these channels? Psychic debris, attachments to the past, regret, guilt, anticipation of the future filled with worry or anxiety, trauma, feeling of disconnection, sadness, grief, or depression. Now, all these psychological states are natural and normal, but sometimes we start living inside of these negative psychological states. It has an impact. So what the ujjayi does is it cleanses and cleans the inner walls of the nadis. It's like scouring the inner walls of the nadis. And on the exhalation, you release the toxic debris, whatever's no longer needed, will easily dislodge from the inner walls of the nadis with ujjayi breath, so that the passageways are clear, the arteries clear, all the nadis open. At the end of the next exhalation, release ujjayi and experience the calming effect. Go in to the inner peace and surround yourself with a warm, radiant light, a healing light. And then gently open your eyes. We'll finish with one more pranayama breath. And this is called nadi shodhana. So I just described what the nadis are. They're channels of energy in the body. Nadi actually means little river. And shodhana means to purify. So this is alternate nostril breathing. Alternate because there are three main nadis of the 72,000. It's the sun channel, the moon channel, and then the central channel. So the sun channel is on the right nostril, and the moon channel is on the left. What's interesting, the sun and moon unite here at the brow chakra, the sixth chakra here. The right side is going to govern the whole right side of your body. Because it's the sun, it's more active, it's hot, it's expansive, but it stimulates the left hemisphere functions. And then the left nostril, the moon nadi, governs the left side of the body and the right hemisphere. And this left side is more of our soothing, calming, it's the moon. So reflective as more of the divine feminine, whereas the sun is more divine masculine. It's also our capacity to tune in to insight, intuition, self-nourishment, calming. So we're balancing the warming and cooling nadis, hot and cold, to find the place in the middle. Right hand comes up and we form what's called Vishnu Mudra. The index and middle finger bow to the heart of the palm. And with your right thumb, you close the right nostril. With your fourth and fifth fingers together, you close the left. Inhale both nostrils to start. And then exhale out the right nostril by depressing the left. Inhale, right nostril. Exhale, left. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. And continue in this way. A few more details. When you depress the nostrils, do it with minimal hand motion. And it's just a slight rotation of the wrist. Your right forearm is close to the midline of your body. Instead of elbow way out to the side, it's closer. Your breath is natural, calm, no need to strain or force. And if you get confused on which breath and with which nostril, just start over. The benefits of Nadi Shodhana are profound. On a psychic level, we're balancing individual and universal. We're balancing body and mind and heart. It pulls together the front body and the back body such that they merge and meet in the middle. The sun channel and the moon channel begin at the base of the spine, at the Muladhara chakras, the base chakra. They weave in and around the chakras, all the way to the nostrils, and then they meet and merge in the sixth chakra, the Ajna chakra, which is like our third eye. It's the eye of unity. Where these physical eyes are the eyes of duality, we have two. All polarities resolve, problems resolve in the third eye. And unity consciousness pervades. They call it the cave of the yogi, where we achieve a broader perspective, a universal perspective. This third eye is the gateway that allows the infinite, unbounded, unbroken divine energy to enter and filter into our individual body. There's like a crystal of consciousness there, the third eye. And the radiant light of the divine penetrates this crystal, and the white light is diffracted into a rainbow of diversity and beauty. This tantric path is all about knowing yourself, your own unique gifts and talents, and to support yourself to shine your unique light into the world. That the world really can't be complete without your fullest expression of your gift. Now when you breathe in through the right nostril, the next time you do, and wait for the cycle, exhale both nostrils. We release Nadi Shodhana in exactly the way that we come into it. Then bring your right hand down and sit for a moment in the pristine beauty of inner peace. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Gently bow. Come lie down on your back for a few minutes of rest. Just taking a little time out of each day to stabilize yourself in your inner peace has an accumulative effect. You start to establish a pathway deep into your own heart that you can return to again and again. That one of the goals of our practice is to establish the absolute, this unbounded, unlimited part of ourselves. It's filled with insight and intuition and a deep connection to all that is. Today you strengthened your capacity and the channels to establish yourself deep inside. Allow each breath to be a celebration of peace. Please remain in Shavasana for as long as you wish. And for those who would like to complete, bend your knees, come roll to your right side. And then slowly come up to a seated position. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. It's such a delight to invite you into my living room to join me in my practice each of these days. It's been a wonderful gift. So important to stay connected during this time, to know that you are loved, to know that there are people out there, me and many others, who care. Remember, we're going to get through this, and no matter the challenge, the human spirit is strong. Human spirit is invincible. So I hope these practices have been beneficial for you. This is the last of our first series of practices for inner peace. And I hope you'll continue with me. Please join me. Next week we start again, Wednesday through Sunday, and the focus is the 5 elements, how to integrate them and bring them more into our awareness and connect with nature. So I look forward to seeing you next week, hopefully. And again, for those who would like to offer a contribution, it's much appreciated. Just go to my website, ashayayoga.com, online classes. Thanks for your support. Have a beautiful day. Let's close our eyes and let's chant Om. Peace, peace, peace. May there be peace in the world and peace deep inside our own hearts. Namaste.